Oh, well, excellent. There's all the world's a stage, and all of us are players, huh? All right. All my life, I've been the reluctant hero. I wanted to be the hero that was inside the stories that I lived in when I was a child. I was a consummate geek, consumed comic books and movies and video games with such voraciousness that I wasn't necessarily able to see, how that hero's journey was going to make my path, my future, work for me. So, unlike being see, it's funny, guys, actually, on the hero's journey, there's all these little obstacles and bumps and stuff like that go along the way. But basically, reality just wasn't real enough for me. As a dreamer, I was surrounded by so many successful and competent doers. And that presented challenges for me because I actually wanted to be the hero in all the stories that I read about. I wanted to be just like them. What I didn't realize is that, I didn't need to be looking at someone else's story in order to create my own. I've been blessed to have grown up with such an amazing and wonderful family. Two parents that embraced my uniqueness and encouraged my path of self-discovery. And there's never been a sister as amazing as mine. She's here, too. always the eager participant, player, and co-creator in all the stories and the games that we acted out and played together. But being the dreamer still, I realized that my spherical view of the world didn't always match up with the linear way. So, two types of thinking, opposites of the polar kind. Ever the optimist, though, I believe that someday I would be called up to adventure, called to my journey. And that actually came when I went off to college, was ready to go off to college. And I was accepted into the perfect school. I was accepted into the school where all the best stories that I had grown up with, all the heroes that I'd wanted to be, were created. Those eggs were laid, they were incubated, and they hatched and launched and made me who I was at that point in my life. The best part about it was the slogan above the door was, "Reality ends here." But little did I know that actually reality ending wasn't necessarily the thing that was going to be the best thing for me. And reality actually began for me there. So once I graduated from my undergraduate, I actually went back to my alma mater as a graduate student. And I was supposed to be the first of the graduating class of the new generation of people that were going to be cultivating the new ideas, building the future of games and interactivity. And then when it came time for me to propose my graduate thesis, I suggested a plan for the reinvention of Las Vegas. Because as I was growing up in Nevada, I had seen all the casinos and all the sports books as basically the next generation arcades, these giant arcades, where instead of one button or one arm pulling down, we need to put real social, immersive, interactive, and engaging content on those floors, because people like me, all these millions of gamers, they were never going to be attracted by, the one-armed bandit. Well, my instructors and professors didn't actually think that was possible. They thought it was going to fail. They thought that the wall that was the laws in Nevada could never be changed, that they were insurmountable, that if I tried, I would fail. So That was the first time that I ever actually had doubt in my perfect plan, this vision for my life, this story that I wanted to live, being the hero or becoming the hero. I ended up leaving school, and now I didn't have any script, no more vision, and I had to go wander in the wilderness. But when I was wandering, I met so many amazing people. I mean, there's a whole bunch of you, like I'm seeing throughout the audience, that have been like the lion and, the scarecrow on my yellow brick road. And it's funny that they've taught me that actually this is what I was supposed to be doing all along. Now it's come full circle. Now I'm not the hero that's reluctant anymore. And I didn't need to be another hero. I need to be myself. They've taught me things like cultivating presence and living in the right experience to create an experience for the next generation. We need to understand that experience is defined by your presence and augmented by your perception. To get this down even to brass tacks, what some of my mentors have taught me, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Leo Tolstoy's 3 questions, but the 3 questions are: who is the most important person? What is the most important thing? And when is the most important time? Well, the most important time is now, the present, here, not the future, not the past. You can't do anything about the past, and you can't build a future because it doesn't exist yet. You have to build it moment to moment. Who is the most important person? Well, that's you, or the people that you're sharing with. And what's the most important thing to be doing? Well, that's the experience that you're sharing with those people or by yourself, discovering in that time. So we are happiest in the moment. We need to stop thinking about what's going to come. We need to be right here. Because when you're looking for perfection, you're going to miss all the good that's going to come your way. And that was my mistake. So I also realized that I couldn't be just this hero. I needed to find other heroes and champions and people that were going to walk with me. And that's what I'd already found. I already found them. And so thinking about coming to this talk and thinking about what we needed to do, we need to cultivate an experience that is total and true. It's not the big thing. It's making everybody feel like when they come to Vegas to experience either manufactured emotion, because we invented that, or Steve Wynn says that we all come here to be stars in our own movie. Well, I'd like to see us become the players, the avatars, the hero of your own video game. It's not one thing, we have choice. So we need to seek presence. We need to cultivate presence to make that experience great for people. And so I've been asked to talk about, some of the things that would happen. We need to remove the stress, all the things that make traveling, touring, being a local, and trying to do things, planning. We need to remove that. We can do that with technology. So, like for example, before you even touch down in McCarran International Airport, you should have this application or some other system that when you land and you turn your phone off airplane mode, your Tony Stark's Jarvis or something like that will say to you, "Would you like to check in?" And then you check in. "Do you want me to secure your transportation?" "Yeah, of course." So that even before you deplane, you have all that ready. And then you go outside and you get into the cab, you get into the transportation that you've chosen, and the driver needs to speak your own language. So if you're foreign, you've never been to Vegas anymore, well, that's kind of a boring drive, right? If they don't speak your language. Well, and then when you get to your hotel, the valet greets you by name. They know that you're coming there. Your hotel room is ready because there's no waiting in line, there's no check-in line that frustrates and stresses you out, and they take you right up to your room. You get to your room, you don't need to touch the remote control to watch TV. You don't need to pick up the phone to have an engineer come up and change your thermostat. You simply just ask, because that same digital concierge and butler has come with you. And let's say then you're going to go downstairs. And the casino of the future is the giant arcade. Not a bunch of people that are all alone together, but they're sitting there playing social, interactive, engaging things. This has already started to happen. This is not something that's far-flung. But we need to build those next generation games, All the same game with different faces. Gamers like me will never be interested in that. And, I'm envisioning it here as an example. Like, how awesome would it be to, watch your friends and be able to bet on the outcome of those games? Watch them play Dance Dance Revolution back to back, If you haven't seen it, it's actually a really, really awesome game. Very, very funny to watch. So, can you just imagine that? Now, if we build just these kind of things, and there's so many more things, and it's all our journey, all our vision. This is where we live. It's a discussion. There are millions of gamers all over the world, but there are a whole bunch here at this university. So just here in this room, there's probably a whole bunch of you that play video games. A whole bunch of you that have lived like this generation that's a millennial, that are trying to do these things. So if we build all these things, then things like the Holy Grail, augmented reality, and there's TED Talks with the HoloLens and the Void. Go check them out. They'll blow your mind. If you ever get a chance to experience it for real, absolutely amazing. Now people will be inside their own game. They'll be immersed in their own story, and they can live how they want, live that if they come here. Now we're manufacturing experiences. But just like any journey, if you're stepping out into the unknown, we can't be scared. We need to take that first step. And just like with every video game, we need to learn how to press start. Thank you.